Welcome to the Wire Podcast. I'm Chris on a very cold day here in California, and we're joined today by Ben Skinner on an even colder day in Cornwall, England. Ben Skinner is an 11-time European longboard champion. We're going to talk with him today about Thunderbolt, specifically the A.V.T. system that we get a lot of questions about, and much more. For more episodes of the Wire Podcast, you can go to anywhere that you listen to podcasts and search The Wire by Firewire Surfboards. Enjoy this episode. You can tune in and out of it as you like while you check the waves or go for a beach walk or do the dishes or wax a surfboard in your living room. I've done it, so if you do not get wax on the carpet. Here is Ben Skinner. Let's get into it, man. Skinner's Brewery. I mean, what is Skinner's Brewery?
So Skinner's Brewery is basically a brewery started by my parents 25 years ago now. And yeah, I mean, Dad's passion, my dad's parents were pub landlords. They run hotels and pubs, and he grew up in that trade and around the pubs, and loved, always sort of grew into liking beer and enjoying the process of it and how it's made and the flavors and the recipes and ingredients, and it's something that really intrigued him. And so Dad, back in Jersey when we were, I think I was 8 years old, he started his first brew pub. So he made a pub with a brewery on the side. So you could sit and eat your dinner, and there's big glass windows with the brewery the other side. So you could sit and watch all the beer being made, which back in the 90s was quite a new thing and quite fresh. And the only one, I think it got voted the best brew pub in Europe. The first beer that he ever brewed was Jimmy's Bitter after his dad, Jimmy, my granddad. And that beer is still being made to this day in the pub where we kind of grew up, After that, parents decided to make a move to Cornwall, and for various different reasons, but mainly was to, give us kids a different kind of access to certain things. With my surfing at the age of 10, 11, Jersey's a lovely place and full of great people, but if you want to be a good surfer and get somewhere, it's a very difficult place to live to do that. So we made the move. Dad and Mum started the Skinner's Brewery, and that was the family business, and it's become kind of a key figure for Cornwall, and people hold it close to their chest, and it's part of Cornwall now. So it's pretty cool.
So from one family business, the brewery, to another family business, you are in the Thunderbolt showroom right now, and you're kind of creating another family business that your son is a big part of in the surfboard industry. And before we get into the surfboard business that you've created, your son just had a pretty big victory. What happened?
Well, he entered the Barton Lynch Blast-Off event, which, by the way, is an incredible thing for the kids, especially right now in this day and age, where there's not really much happening for them. And he's given them a platform. Every kid in the world could enter this event, and they, everyone could put their video forward. So Lucas did this, and on the week that, I think they did 7 weeks, and every week they had a winner of, each division, and Lucas won his week, and then they had a final, and this week is the final, and last night was the 12s, which was Lucas' division. And man, the kids, there's six kids in the final, out of, I think, 300 or 400 kids or something ridiculous. It's a lot of kids around the world at 12 years old, but under, and ripping as well. The level was insane. So watching the kids surf and all the videos together, I was thinking, wow, Lucas, great, he's in the final, but these kids are amazing. But he won, and Kai's King and Eli Hanneman and the girls that were helping Barton judge the event all voted for Lucas, and he won the event.
What a fun contest name, the Barton Lynch Blast-Off.
Great thing to be part of, and for him to win was just a great experience.
Well, back into the family business aspect of this, before we talk about Thunderbolt, we'll put some surf clips in this video right now of you and Lucas. Your son, Lucas, is currently one of the best up-and-coming surfers in Europe. Kind of sounds like a position that you were in when you were maybe around his age, riding for Quicksilver, I think, at the time. What's it like for you right now, traveling and surfing with Lucas and being at the wave pools together and seeing him come up? What has the experience been like for you?
More enjoyable than I can tell you. I mean, you know, I've been very lucky in the experience I've had in professional surfing, and I've had some great opportunities, and I'm still getting great opportunities. I feel very lucky, but to see Lucas going through them and be able to stand back and watch him in you know, in those environments with the best kids in Europe in the wave pools, and it's really amazing. It's almost better than going surfing for me. I love it so much. You know, and the fact I'm making him boards, and the whole extra relationship that we have as a shaper and surfer, as well as father and son and best friend, you know. So it's just, it's something that I'm very lucky to have, and you know, I can't wait to see where it takes us both, you know.
Well, we're lucky to have him as a team rider at Firewire Surfboards, and it's just another fun element of the surfboard business that you've created. So here you are in the Thunderbolt showroom, and off to your left is some Thunderbolt boards on a wall. You also have a lot of other Thunderbolt boards there in the showroom. Tell us about what goes on there in the showroom that you're sitting in.
So basically, this showroom is actually on the side of our factory. So out the door here is the factory that's all our other custom boards are made. We've got a tattoo studio behind us over there in this container. That's also our artist. He's a tattoo artist as well. So we got a tattoo studio in the factory, and then this.
Wait, your hand just went over the microphone, I think.
Oh, is that better?
Much better.
Okay, so yeah, this is the Thunderbolt shop basically, and this is where we hold all the stock of Thunderbolts, as well as, you know, some other custom boards, but mainly we're a Thunderbolt showroom here. We hold a lot of demo boards, and we want people to really feel the boards, the designs, and the construction. So we're really hands-on with the people that come and see us, and we're very, very happy for them to come and try the boards. And then, you know, in the showroom, we've got a great addition to everybody's range. So from Taylor's new Firewire that we got in carbon, and we've got it in red. We've got our blender model, the new cherry picker. We've got the Harley H4. We've got the CJ Sprout. We've got the CJ Guerrero. We've got a Mo in the rack. So we've really, you know, we got a big drop coming in March. We're really excited about all the brands that are coming and the new boards.
Talking to you before, what's really impressed me is that when you get Thunderbolt boards into the showroom, they're sold out extremely quickly. Why do you think that's happening? I mean, why are the Thunderbolt boards working so well for so many surfers who otherwise would be on more traditionally built boards? Like, what do you hear from just the general people around Cornwall that are buying those boards instead of traditionally built boards?
To be quite honest, as I said, the way we try and sell these boards is for people to come and try them, because we believe they feel different. The Thunderbolt construction has an amazing feeling when you surf in the water. You know, they feel like they paddle better. They're really lively. They're light. The construction is strong. It's just an all-round great product. Really high quality all the time. The models, the range that we have are really versatile. We've got lots of different designs, from performance longboards to traditional boards to mid-lengths. So we've got a great variety and some different constructions that can help different people in certain conditions and or weight sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, Thunderbolt has just become something for us that when we get the boards in, they're gone, because you know, so far with Firewire, we've just really started this relationship, and I think the more this goes on, hopefully the more stock levels we'll have, and we can keep the demand going. But it's an amazing place to be, that people want to actually buy the boards. So it's great.
So you mentioned the way that the boards are built can kind of tailor to different surfers. The one thing that I think is really critical that kind of we get across is that the Thunderbolt Black is a carbon lamination with a fiberglass AVT system. And then the Thunderbolt Red is a fiberglass lamination with a carbon AVT system. And what I'd love for you to talk to us about right now is the AVT system. How do you describe what it is and why you like designing boards with the AVT system, and what it makes surfers feel while they're riding boards with the AVT system?
Okay, so firstly, the AVT system is simply a T-band stringer going down the center of the board, an A panel, an A beam, flex pattern on the deck and a V on the bottom, creating a torsional flex in the board. So it's the way the tails actually create more flex through the tail than any other board I've ever ridden. And most standard stringer boards, if they twist, they're going to crease or snap. You know, whereas carbon twists and comes back straight away and snaps back in because of its flex memory. So that's something that carbon gives that a lot of, you know, other materials don't have, is that quick response, that snappiness that you get back. So any kind of torsional flex will come straight back and create energy and propulsion and give you a crazy feeling off the bottom and in and out of turns. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and generally just the construction is, you know, boards are lasting me forever, and you know, they're not unbreakable for sure, but they are so much stronger and last so much longer. They actually tend to get better through their life than get worse, because the carbon stretches and actually becomes better through surfing them. So sometimes, you know, people feel like they keep coming back and say, every time I'm surfing it, it feels better and better and better. And that is exactly what happens. And Yusan told me that when I first got my boards, you know, you wait, give it 3 to 4 weeks of surfing it, and then you're going to feel it, really feel it, you know? So it's quite amazing that you have to kind of break them in, but it's, yeah, I'm so stoked to be part of this journey and to be part of everything that's happening with Thunderbolt and Firewire. It's a great opportunity. So,
well, you mentioned Yusan. We can fill in our audience. Yusan is Yusumi Tomo. He's from Japan, and he created the Thunderbolt technology build methods, such as the AVT system, which we're talking about. Let's get right into the most exciting thing right now, Ben. You have designed a new nose rider. I was able to see it for the first time about 1.5 years ago in Oceanside. I could not believe how extreme one of the design elements was in this board. It is about to come out around the world, in Australia and the United States and everywhere else. What is the name of the board model? Why did you design it the way you did? Tell us about that board.
So the cherry picker, I mean, wow, what a journey this board has been for me. You know, it really has. It's taught me a lot about myself, about my shaping, about my surfing, and it's just been an incredible journey. And the board really is quite different, quite unique. I think created something a little bit different. I tried to just give my own variation of a flip-tailed nose rider that I feel can turn and drive better than any other nose rider that I could build. Yeah. So it really was trying to take an extreme into what was possible out of sort of a modern longboarding kind of traditional feel that, as I said, is it's all about lift and creating lift in the nose, hence the name of the cherry picker. That's, you know, the board creates so much lift when you're standing on the nose, and actually speed control from the tail creates the most amazing long nose rides. And I feel like I can drive really hard through my turns as well and keep everything smooth and flowing, and it's just a great feeling.
Now, we will overlay on this conversation for our audience video and footage of the board and the board being surfed. Is the main difference that you feel in the cherry picker versus your previous favorite nose riders, is it just that you feel so much more lift in the nose? Is that the specific thing? Is it easiest to nose ride on?
I would say, yeah. I mean, yes, 100%. The lift on the nose is something I haven't felt from any board I've ridden. But it's not just the initial lift, because some boards you feel an initial lift, but it's almost like the tail turns into a foil once it's engaged in the wave, and it creates this incredible downforce on the tail without slowing you down too much, but without also letting you go too quickly. So it's not just the lift, but the length of nose rides and the length of time that it's lifting. And, you know, I can almost feel like I can control where I am in the wave by how I control my weight on the nose, by how it's affecting the tail in the water. So it's a really hard feeling to explain, but I think the general consensus is, yes, definitely feels easier to nose ride, more stable, lots of lift. But the length of nose ride is probably the biggest thing that's changed for me.
Last question about the cherry picker. What waves come to mind? I mean, what waves have you surfed in California or in Australia that you feel like the cherry picker was just made for?
Well, Australia, for a start, Noosa, the right-hand points. And in fact, that was a major part in my journey with this board. And we have made a video on how this board came about, and through the events that I was doing and the surfing that I wanted to start doing. And, you know, I had to change my path a little bit as far as if I wanted to stay at the top of competitive longboarding. And really, this cherry picker is the outcome of that. And the Noosa event at the beginning of the year was a big part of that for me. And the board went amazingly well. I finished fifth, but I missed out by 0 point something to Kai in the last minute or whatever. Drives the fire a little bit, you know. It was good and such a great event. And although I didn't make the heat, I'm still so happy with just the whole event. It was fun. It's great to see everyone. Even looking back now, the fact we haven't been able to see each other as a family, longboard family, for such a long time. You know, I missed that more than anything. So, yeah, I mean, it's just great. And I think Noosa, Malibu, Trestles, Sano, all those waves are going to, the cherry picker is going to excel on. And I've really gutted that I haven't been able to come to California this year and actually surf the board in Thunderbolt since we've had it.
Just a couple more questions before I let you go, because I know you have other stuff going on. Two things about community really quick. You just mentioned that it's been a long time since the global longboard community was able to get together and enjoy each other's company. You are unfailingly one of the most community, family-oriented people that I know. You seem like you're just completely goodwill towards everyone that you compete with, towards everyone that you even compete with in the market, other people who build and make longboards. Where does that come from with you, where just unfailingly from a position of everything kind of begins with this feeling of community, like you really do have a kinship with everybody? I mean, where does that come from?
Well, yeah, we had a big family. We've got 3 sisters, not a big family, but fairly big family. Been very family orientated. Had a great mum and dad. But I think the main thing Dad always said to me was, going through your life, make sure you treat people how you want to be treated. Mm-hmm. And that's what stuck with me the whole way through my life. And so that's the way I try and go through my daily life, is treating people how they would want to be treated back. And hopefully that, you know, that will go a long way in the long run. So,
and then just where you're at, where you're raised by your dad, was in the United Kingdom. You're still there. You've had the opportunity to travel the world. You've been all over the place. You've worked with companies all over the world. What is it about the part of the world you live in now in Cornwall that makes you want to stay there still? What made you kind of grow roots there as a surfer when you probably could have up and gone somewhere else if you wanted to at various points in your career? What is it that keeps you there?
Community is definitely one of them. I mean, I've got such a great group of friends, and I mean, not, you know, and extended friends, and, you know, like you say, surfing is a community. So you become attached to that, for one. I love Cornwall for my kids, as far as bringing them up. Like it's really quite a safe place to be. There's not a lot of crime. You know, we're on the coast. We live on the beach. You know, we're close to the main cities. We can go to London in 4 hours and fly anywhere in the world. So we're pretty, where we live, we're quite accessible to everything. But we're also, you know, away from it, and also with a community of people that want to do the same things as well, and surf, and that's what everybody does here. So it's a way, it's everything. Waves get good too. Don't tell anyone though. Whoa. They might come, you know, middle of January. I can't see it, but
the interesting thing about the waves there is, no matter how good they look and no matter how great the surfing videos and photos you send me are, I know that there's no way to get those waves unless you know about that coastline and when and where. It has some of the best in the world. It's just, you can't show up there and figure it out. You've got to have lived there for 10 years to know when and where. It's unreal.
Yeah, and we do have like access to Ireland and Scotland and the northeast of England, and there's so many unexplored, I mean, not unexplored, people have, but for me, unexplored new places to go still in this country, in the UK. So it's a great place to be. I you know, and it feels safe mainly, you know, and my family business is here. My dad's family business is here. So I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Well, look, last question, last thing, kind of as a point of congratulations that I want to make. You designed a brand new fin with your friends at FCS, and it seems to be extremely popular. Can you tell us about that fin and the kind of success you've had with it recently and why you think everyone likes it?
Yeah, so I can show you it quickly. So we've made a new 2+1 7-inch center and a medium side longboard fin. So it's in an air core construction, so super light, but super versatile setup. So great for mainly designed for performance longboards, but fits right into that mid-length groove as well, and just a really great fin all round. And they're being sold separately as well, so the side fin can be matched up with your favorite center, or your centers can be matched up with your favorite side. So it's not a have to buy the full set, but they obviously work great together. But the options are there. So it's been really exciting. I'm stoked to be doing that with FCS and appreciate the opportunity. And hopefully everyone can enjoy the fin as much as I am.
Cool, Ben. Look, it's awesome to catch up with you. I cannot wait for you to come back to California. I can't wait to go to the UK. Hopefully all this stuff calms down soon enough. What did we miss, man? Is there anything else that we meant to talk about that we haven't?
No, not really. I don't think, Chris. No, I think we covered most things.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, and thanks for having me, Chris. It's always a pleasure. Feels really odd. I'd love to be there, but hey, that's the way. I know.
Feels like I should be hugging you right now.
Virtual hugs.
All right. Cheers, bro. Till the next time we can drink one of these in person. Woo!
Yeah. Cheers.